Hey everybody, it's Justin, your guide into the other side. Today has been a super hot day with regards to Legends of the Mara. We just got the update that Shattered Hunt is actually online. Twitter and Discord have been on fire. I've been posting all day today, compiling as much information as possible on the environments, the weapons, the overall meta. So let's actually jump right in. I know you're all juicing for the hunt, so let's take a quick look at fragments before we begin. Biogenic Swamp is quickly depleting at about 41%. Chemical Goose at 83%. That's going to go by quick. And then, the rest are trailing behind at around 90%. So this is going to be critical for, customizing your Kodomara as we get into the evolution part. But that's for later. So I know you're all worried about the hunt. So basically, you can access the hunt by clicking on the hunt button so long as you have a hunter inside attached to your other deed. So let's click on that and jump right in. It's going to drop us into a loading screen, and we'll just have the music on this time. Why not? I love the map. I think personally, first impressions, I thought the soundtrack was super good. I really like the soundtrack. I also love the background of my mycelium deed. I think the Shidian sound. Okay, this track is a banger. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, right? Okay, I got to marvel at the track, but also the sound design of the Sidian is quite ominous, terrifying. It's gonna scream at some point. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so basically, I'm gonna let this go on for 2 more seconds. Okay, I gotta mute it because I gotta focus on giving you the rundown on what we're seeing here. So let's break down everything we have at the hunt, right? So we have our epic Mara right here in the center. It's basically dealing damage to the shattered. We have our mist at the top. You can convert mist to, I guess you can convert ape coin to mist at about 1 ape coin per 127 mist. Just keep in mind that if you did participate in the open beta while the Shattered gameplay was down, you did get 2,000 mist. Also, you can see your Sidian HP at the very top. I'm about almost halfway to beating it. So I better hurry if I want to get my master chest. So let's talk about leaderboards and loot, right? So we can actually access the leaderboard now, which is awesome because it actually can show us, where we are on the leaderboard, as well as how long it's taken the fastest person to defeat their Shattered Goliaths. So total time it's taken for this person to defeat theirs is 9 days, 22 hours and 9 days, 22 hours, 59 minutes. So basically, at the very top, you can see you can get your legendary hanger parts, legendary engine parts, as well as the legendary 1-of-1 seasonal catalysts that are probably going to spawn really nice Kodomaras, really powerful, maybe probably pretty aesthetic. And then we also have the Rengo Love epic boxes. So, as we go down the leaderboard, obviously the rewards decrease. Where am I? I'm sitting at about 886, but again, I only have one hunter on a tier 2 deed. So there are going to be people with, optimaxed Kodolands beating me. So anyways, let's talk about bounty rewards and basically the loot boxes for the majority of us, right? So when you defeat a Shattered, you're going to get a loot box, and the loot box rarity is going to be determined by how fast you defeat your Shattered, right? So if you defeat it under 10 days, well 20 days now technically, but we got a 10-day extension on the master chest, right? So the master chest allows us to pull higher rarity loot from the loot pool that is per environment type, environment tier, right? So for tier 2 seasonal rewards, there's a pool of 133,136 items, and there's 131,290 items left. So this kind of determines, there's the entire loot pool shown to you. If you actually scroll through this, you can kind of see the majority of the loot pool is consistent of ship parts, which will probably be used later in the game. And then there's also battle ally loot from, applied primates, Rengo loot, as well as Serum City and Forgotten Runes battle ally loot as well. Super juice for the Forgotten Runes legendary loot too. Oh my gosh, super juiced about that. But basically, master chest, let's actually see what's going on inside of this. Basically, it'll allow you to get the legendary tier loot. It basically says at least one item from the below categories guaranteed while supplies last. So you can kind of see everything you need to know about the loot. You can see the breakdown, how much are remaining. I think Rengo loot has actually been all claimed for tier 2 only, so I can't say about any other tiers, but I can say for this tier 2 Rengo loot is already claimed. But that's why it's important. It's going to be like Sediment. There's going to be a race to clear through the bounty loot and pull as much stuff as possible. So let's talk about fighting the Shattered, right? So, this button over here, well, I think my head is in the way. you can unleash all the skills, and then there's also a refresh button as well. So I actually won't talk about this button too much, but basically let's talk about our quotas. So at the bottom left of your screen, you can actually see all the stats of your Oda team, right? I only have one Oda on my team right now, and its team DPS is 60 damage per second. You can see everything about your Mara, as well as your basic stats of your Mara. So per attack, it has 260 damage, but it attacks about once every 4 seconds. Has a 15% chance of critical damage, and then the critical damage buff is 200%. So you may notice that your Oda or your Mara may have a skill, right? And the skill is my skill that I have here is an active skill called Firestorm, right? And it deals 37% damage to the enemy every 4 seconds for 2,700 seconds. And the strength of this ability is going to be determined whether it's a Kodo or the rarity of your Mara. So you'll want to keep that in mind as well. So how do we use this, right? This is the fun part of the video. So basically, click on your Mara, and you can basically go ahead and just click on this, and you can see everything about it. So it'll do 97 damage per tick for 2,700 seconds. So I can only do this once, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it right now. I'm gonna click it, and it's like amazing. Like boom, it sets your city on fire. I probably should have had sound on for that. Sorry guys, but it's basically doing damage now. I can see my Mara doing damage. It's through its basic attacks like 260. You can also see the Sidian taking 97 damage per tick, so it's basically on fire at this point. And then also, if you click on your if you click on your Hunter, you can also activate the ability at the cost of mist. So it costs about 148 mist to do it again. So I would, if you don't want to spend mist, don't click on this again, because you might just run out of mist. So don't do that. But anyways, I think the timer is around 10 to 11 to 12 hours. I guess it depends per the ability, but I think you guys working on putting more detailed timers, cooldown timers, so we'll be able to set timers for ourselves. But anyways, that's how to use your abilities. I can only do this once, so hopefully the rest of the video goes good. So anyways, that's just the basic rundown on how to use your how to use active abilities and fight your Goliath boss, as well as a rundown of where your leaderboards missed, as well as bounties and loot boxes. So let's talk about the environments, right? So let's swap over to the Legends of the Mara environments. And personally, I think these are amazing. We've seen a lot of them, and I think they're like a sneak peek into the future of what 3D Otherside is all about, right? We saw some bog ones. We can kind of see a bog deed with their team fighting against a thrash boss. So this screenshot was definitely amazing. I love seeing the boglands. We also saw a stepped deed as well. So super cool aesthetic here. I guess the Shadowland was super cool too. And then the molten volcanic deeds are looking mighty creepy. There's some shadow stuff coming out of the volcano. That looks kind of wild. But personally, the acid lands are crazy. Look at those eyes, dude. These eyes are amazing. So 3D Otherside is gonna look super cool. We also have Benja on his Splinter, very epic. And then we have a Chaos Deed right here. Oh my lord. Yo, we have a black hole background in the back. What is that going to look like in 3D Otherside? And then we also have I don't know what that is. But very cool stuff overall. So if you haven't seen any of these, I'll try to compile everything so far. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about Velden Deeds. At first I thought they looked like Pokemon battle centers, but it actually reminds me of Disney's Atlantis a lot more. But I really like the aesthetic for Velden Lands as well. So I think Tenacious was fighting on my favorite aesthetic, the Crystal Deeds. Oh my god, what is that gonna look like in 3D Otherside? Oh my good lord. Oh my god, I wasn't planning this, but Botanical looks amazing too. Oh my god, can you guys imagine what that's gonna look like in 3D? But anyways, I know I'm veering off to a little bit of a different topic, but I just wanted to go over the aesthetics and get a sneak peek into what 3D might look like. So let's actually talk about weapons, right? So weapons are actually really powerful in Legends of the Mara. I saw a lot floating around on X and Discord, right? So I actually saw this Explorer Blade. So it actually is a proc weapon. Both of these are proc weapons. There's the Explorer Blade and Wood Ear Chopper, right? On each basic attack, 10% chance to trigger an explosion that deals 320% damage. So that's pretty powerful. And then the other one does, on each basic attack, 10% chance to trigger an explosion that deals 300% damage, plus 10% for every 10% HP missing from the shattered for up to 500% damage. That's wild. So there's definitely some more powerful weapons out there. Very, very epic. These are already equipped to Kodas, or I think, but anyways, let's keep looking. I also saw some more weapons here. I saw the Goop Slicer. Be wary of the weapon that's called the Goop Slicer. I wouldn't want to get hit by that. So on each basic attack, 10% to apply a curse that increases damage taken by 3.8%, plus 7.7% for each debuff on the shattered, up to 23% for 30 seconds. Holy moly, that's a lot. That's a lot of words. Sounds like it's pretty good for scaling. And then there's also this Cursed Armament. On each basic attack, deal 10% chance to apply a curse that increases damage taken by 4.3% plus 8 point. There's a lot of math there. I'm not big brain enough to go through all of that, but basically a lot of these look really powerful. Some are like super punchy right away. Some look like they're pretty good for scaling. And then, okay, there's some more here. Oh my God, there's so many weapons actually. I think this Venomous Blade here. On each basic attack, 10% chance to apply a Venom that deals 70% damage every 5 seconds for 30 seconds. Damage increases by 60% for each debuff of the Shattered, up to a maximum of 220% damage. So right off the bat, I'm kind of seeing a metaform across, building your teams. It's going to be important to like synergize abilities that work well with each other, right? If you got a weapon that deals increased damage based off of debuffs, you might want to have an Oda team that does debuffs. So you might want to take a look at abilities as well. So speaking of abilities, I have 2 here. There are so many more. I hope I can compile as many as possible, but there's just so many. But here are 2 more Oda active abilities. So here, the one that I have is Firestorm. You may notice that is a little bit different than the one that I had. This one says it deals 35% damage to the enemy per every 4 seconds for 4,050 seconds, right? So I think mine was 37% over a different time frame. So I think this one was a Coda ability, so it's a lot more I think it's more powerful. And then there's also a weaken ability as well. It applies weaken to a single enemy for 27,000 seconds, and it takes 10% more damage. So again, the abilities vary per Oda and Coda, etc., and they look incredibly powerful when you use them together, especially with weapons, etc. So overall, the meta and the gameplay is going to be really critical to think about. Especially as you're putting your teams together, you only have so many slots. You only have so much, choice. So it's going to be critical to choose the ones that synergize the best, right? But I think there are also some other ones. There's like Haste, which can increase all allies' attack speed by 20% for 18,000 seconds, as well as Havoc that deals 5,750 damage for a single enemy. So there are a lot of ones that punch. There are a lot of ones that increase attack speed. You're going to want to definitely take a look overall. So choose wisely. Last but not least, let's talk about where to find the best tools and points of contact that you can get up to date on Otherside news and game updates, right? So I would say right off the bat, definitely check out Yuga Labs, Otherside Meta. Those are the official, but Other Decks had a pretty good tool here. Well, they actually had their community link where you could go check out Board Media Group. Great guys over there. Phil, Will, Bright, Bryce. Oh my gosh, great guys. You can find me here as well. Vor at Other Guild, AV, all the great guys at Other Guild will definitely help you out if you have any questions. Other Space FM. Oh my God, Jason, Nana, great guys, as well as Other Page as well, and Otherside Wiki. They're creating the best tools that we can use in order to learn the meta and understand what it takes to defeat Shattered the fastest. So if you need any of these tools, definitely check them out. And that's all I got for today. Definitely hit that like and subscribe button. I'll have all the links in the description. Hope you liked the overview of weapons, meta, as well as fighting the Shattered and using active abilities. Hopefully this video was useful to you. I'm going to sign off. I'll see you on the other side. Peace.